America's Home Cooking. I'm actually going to try to make a different pie crust. This is an all butter pie crust. It's not made the old way. This is the new way using a food processor. So I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to actually walk you into the kitchen with something I haven't done, and we'll see how it comes out. Now I want to make mine whole wheat, but you can use this recipe for an all-purpose all the way if you wish. But I am going to be doing this instead. So you need 3/4 of a cup of flour in a food processor. You have to grate 2 tablespoons of butter with a box grater with a larger side grating, and stick that in the freezer, which I've already done. And in the food processor, if you're making whole wheat, you need 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat. If you're making just a plain all-purpose, you just need 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. So we'll see how this comes out. I have never made pie crust like this. All right, now they want us to take the rest. We're using 8 tablespoons of butter out here, and they want us to cut it into what sizes? In 1/2-inch cubes. So that's what I'm going to be doing, because we're going to be adding this slowly together and no other way. I should turn you down so you can actually see everything that I'm doing. And they want the butter chill. That's about 1/2 inch. This is going to be a little less than 1/2 inch. It'll work. Now I usually use flour shortening, but I ran across this, and it's for this pumpkin pie. I got the sweet potatoes done yesterday. I used an old-fashioned sweet potato recipe that I have, because I never remember how to do it. So I only do it once in a while. And I found this pumpkin pie recipe. It has sweet potatoes in it. It has pumpkin in it. It has ginger in it. It has maple syrup in it, and a lot of other things. But it's just so different from anything that I've ever made that I thought that would really be nice. Oh, good evening. It's afternoon. It's 3 p.m. right now. All right, so now we did that. They want us to add a tablespoon of sugar in here. So the pie will be done tomorrow, because this has got to sit in the refrigerator till tomorrow. That's why I did the sweet potatoes. I'm getting everything done so I can make this pie tomorrow. All right. So I want me to pulse the sugar and flour together. I only read this recipe twice. And salt. All right, we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I forget the time zones. When I start doing this, I don't always think that you're in another country. And that's why I get all confused. Now, all right, we've added the salt, the sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour. Now, remember, I said you can sit there and use all-purpose if you wish. Now, you want me to, what? 2 pulses. Okay. I'm going to say 2 pulses. Now, what do you want me to do? I have to walk through all this process into paste forms. Okay. Get all the butter. Well, you're not done yet. You're still going to finish those pieces. Alright, I have to wait till this comes into a paste. So this is going to take a bit of time. Hi, Mandolin. We're waiting for a paste to form. Not yet. Still waiting. I don't know how long this is going to take. Like they said, cold butter. My butter's cold. We're almost there. Okay. We made it. Now they want me to take this piece, because this is how it's going to come. They want you to break this up and sort of spread it out. And we're going to add flour to this. And this is where I'll be adding, I think it's an extra half a cup that we're going to be adding. Yes, we'll be adding a half a cup of all-purpose flour to this mix. I have never in my life made pastry like this. This is so new to me. Well, I guess some people do use food processors. I don't. Now, do you want me to process while I add the flour? No. Okay. But they said to break it up to like 1-inch balls, which I did. Okay. Now to say the pieces are going to break up. Yeah, it pretty much is. Okay, now what do you want me to do with it? All right. Okay, we're going to move to a bowl now. Okay. Have any of you ever made it this way? I have never, ever made it. But they said flakiness, if you use shortening, it's not as good as using just 100% butter to make a flaky crust. You get a better flaky crust if you sit there and just use butter. My mother always used shortening, and that's what we were taught as small little girls in my day growing up. So I have used butter, but I've never used it like this. Now, what do you want me to do? I already added that. They want us to add the grated butter that was taught in the freezer. We had 2 tablespoons of butter. Now they want us to add this to it. Until they're all mixed up and separated. Okay, this is what you say. Toss until butter pieces are separated and coated with flour. Okay, we're going to do that. All right, now you want me to do that with a spatula? Okay. You're making us go through all these steps. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Kim. Now they take it. Now listen, my water's cold coming out of the faucet, okay? My freezer's packed. I have no room for ice cubes, so I'm going to use the coldest water I've got. They want 2 tablespoons, and we're supposed to mix this. Come on. Get 2 tablespoons of water in here, and they want a spatula to mix this. Right. I guess they want me to use the spatula so it doesn't stick together too warm. Well, we'll make sure I did that. Now mix them evenly and moistened. Right. I usually use my hands. Now this will not be ready till tomorrow, so we'll start the pie tomorrow. I'm going to have everything together. Can I add another 2 tablespoons? Okay, I can add another 2. Thank you. Press dough with spatula until it sticks together. Transfer dough to a sheet. Yeah, we'll get there. This is almost done as far as I can go. But when I read this recipe, I said, I have never made a pumpkin pie like this. We usually just do pumpkin. You know, we put pumpkin in with seasons and sugar and some eggs and stuff. But this one said it was talking about maple syrup. It was talking about candied yams. It was talking about ginger. I said, ginger? I've never put ginger in anything like that before. Now you want me to do what with this next? Press dough with spatula until dough sticks together. Transfer dough. Okay, we'll get this to stick together and then we'll transfer. Then if we're going to chat, we'll be able to chat then. Well, it's coming together. Now, the reason we're using the spatula is because our body is 98.6, which will melt this butter that we put in here. Okay, now that I'm getting it to stick together, may I please now? All right. Transfer dough to a sheet of plastic wrap. Draw edges of plastic over dough and press firmly on sides and top to form a compact, fissure-free mass. All right, they still don't want me to touch it. I have to get plastic and make it work. So hold on a minute. We'll get plastic wrap. I know it is saran wrap because I'm an old girl. That's what we used to call it. No, we barely used this stuff when I was growing up. Now recipes call for it like there's no tomorrow. Okay. Now we have to put this here on the saran wrap. Don't touch it. You almost feel like a germ. And what they want you to do is bring this into a disc without touching it. And for those of you that don't know, it's to keep the butter from melting. So when we roll it out, because it'll be chilled tomorrow, it'll be nice. It might not quite be a circle, but this goes in the refrigerator, and that's it. Okay, we'll put you right there. Now, that's that. Now I'm going to read some of the ingredients. You've got to hear the ingredients on this pie. It's so unusual. Okay? You know you're going to put eggs in it, right? But they want heavy cream with whole milk in this. They want 3 large eggs plus 2 yolks, large yolks. They're also talking about they want unsweetened pumpkin puree. Well, I canned pumpkin, so I'll be getting mine out of the pantry. And it says 1 cup of drained candy sweet potatoes or yams. According to where you're in America, according to what you say, we're also adding maple syrup and sugar. They want fresh ginger in this. They're talking about table salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Now tell me that doesn't sound good, doesn't it? Today I'm actually making the crust for a pumpkin pie that'll have to be made tomorrow. Yesterday I was making the candy yams, and I figured all of you, most of you already know about how to make candied yams. I have an old recipe. If there's a new way of making candied yams, I don't know. But that's the one that I use. And I have to leave you here because I have to charge my phone because I was at 0. So now we just have to wait till tomorrow. Now, tomorrow I plan to try. If you see me tomorrow morning, you're going to be surprised because I am going to make a really, really big attempt at filleting red fish. Now, I'll probably slaughter it from end to end. But anyway, I have the desire to try. So that's it. I posted what I made earlier today, but this is taking longer to make this pie because they want the crust to actually sit in the refrigerator overnight after you make it. I made the candy yams at the end of the day yesterday. They're sitting there on the table right here waiting. And tomorrow, after I make fried fish, attempting to sit there and fillet red fish. I know I'm going to do it really bad. But anyway, that's what we're going to have. But I hope this pie is going to come out good. So I'm making it early. Now I made cantaloupe butter, and I am thinking about this of making cantaloupe muffins and see how they come out because you can't find a recipe for it. And I have the basic recipe of making muffins, and I said, I think I'm going to try it. Now I want to use the seasoning nutmeg with it. I think nutmeg with cantaloupe would go very well. Now, I don't know if I want to put nuts in it or not. And I just don't want to use the cantaloupe butter, but I'm thinking that maybe I should put a nut in it. I probably will go with a mild nut. Hi, Esther. So I'm looking forward to that to see how that goes. I have no idea, but it's something that I'm working on right now. Maybe almond? Thank you, Kim. Almond's nice. I think maybe I wouldn't use the whole almond. I might use sliver and sort of chop them up, and I might roast them a bit just to bring out the flavor of the almond more. Thank you very much for that idea, Kim. We'll see how it comes out, but it's an idea I'm working on. In 1 or 2 days, knowing me, I'm going to make an attempt at it because I'm making a pie tomorrow. I might not do the muffins till Saturday. Yes, Saturday while I'm doing wash, because my son cooks Saturday for me. He likes to come and cook with me on Saturday, and my other son likes to do it on Sunday. Except last week they were. Yeah, we're working on it. Like, I think about things. Like the dish I made today, I sat there and instead of using, they said red wine, I used white wine because I was always taught pork would be better. So I used white wine with the pork. And then they said add water. And I said, no, I'm not adding water. I'm going to add stock because I wanted it to be taste better and have more flavor. And you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually wiping the stuff off from cooking. Hi, Jessica. So I sit there and do it like I sat there and I've had venison hamburgers. I haven't had them in a long time. But I got this recipe for sandwiches and they're saying using beef. And I said, why can't I use venison and make the meatball sandwich? This is a different meatball sandwich from the last ones that we made. And I'm saying this one sounds like a really good idea to try. Oh no, Kim, you're wrong. You ought to see me. When I'm really experimenting, some of them go into the trash. My husband was like that too. Some of them ended up in the trash. One dish he made was so bad, we didn't eat it, so he gave it to Tara, and she was our Irish setter. She turned her nose up on it. He said, all right, just be picky tonight. Y'all can go hungry. So he sat there and he put it outside for the strays. The stray dogs even turned their nose up to it. It was that bad. I said, I told you it was bad. But I like to play around. The other day, you didn't see this because I was playing, and I said, I want some biscuits because I had canned and made grape jelly. Because I've tried making grape jelly for like 3 years, and it doesn't work. I couldn't get it to work. So I said, you know what, Sandy, do it your way. Put the pectin when you say it's going to do. Well, I made grape jelly, and I was really, really happy with it. It tasted great. And I said, you know what, I'd love biscuits. So I sat there and I took flaxseed. I ground up some seeds and then I added some wheat germ and I made biscuits, and I made it with butter and with sour cream. Now, you know the ratio of liquid to your flour when you make normal biscuits. Well, because I used sour cream, we were using a higher ratio of sour cream till I could get that dough. And I said, oh God, and I say never handle your dough with the biscuits so they can be really fluffy, right? This wasn't working. I found myself needing it. And I said, oh God, these biscuits are going to be so heavy. They're going to taste horrible. I already knew it. They were so light in spite of everything I did to it. They were big, they rose high, and they went excellent, by the way, with the grape jelly. I even had a glass of milk with it. It was so good. I had 3 of them. We finished them up, but they were delicious. And I said, oh, I've got to share this with you guys. I'm really going to have to make those again. They came out beautifully. I just don't know if I have enough sour cream right now. But anyway, that's a recipe I'd like to share with you. I think you would enjoy that recipe very much. And it's unusual, but God isn't good with grape jelly. If you can, you're going to love it. What? Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? But anyway, those are things that we go through in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll take a recipe and it says water. I said, what I really want to try is I want to make crescent rolls, but I want to make sourdough crescent rolls. I used a recipe, but I found the crescent rolls were too heavy. So I want to go back to my regular crescent roll recipe that I have from the 50s. I love that recipe. That's why I'm always using it. And I want to see if I can make it with sourdough. Now, I know you use a lot of milk in making crescent rolls, but I know I have to get 2 rises on sourdough. So I'm thinking of how I can still get the milk into it. And I'm thinking about maybe I should add some powdered milk, which would compensate for that water that I'm going to put into it. So it'll have still that milk flavor with the butter that we like, and see if that works. But that's what I'm working on in my head. I have a few ideas working in my head right now. And let's see. Well, the other ones you'll just have to find out. I'm still working on how can I make a cake really nutritious where it's not all white flour and sugar, but where you eat it. Hi, Wes. So it would be more nutritious so when you eat it. My whole thing about cooking is to make things more nutritious for your health so you don't miss vitamins and stuff and then you end up with problems. Another thing is if you can make it at home, like your brown, light and dark brown sugars, I'd rather do that at home. I didn't like the aluminum that was in the baking powder. I found out how to make baking powder. Sometimes I run out of all-purpose flour, but I always have bread flour because I have sourdough cultures growing, and cake flour because I do make cakes. I know you don't see me often do it because I try to make them nutritious. So I played around and I said, there's got to be a way of making my own all-purpose. So I investigated. That's why I showed you the video yesterday, how I changed the grams to where you could make your own all-purpose flour, and it's the same that you buy in the store. So if you have cake flour and bread flour, you can sit there and make your own, which makes it easier for you. These are a lot of things that I do in the kitchen. Like I told you, I make tooth powder. I only use it twice a week. And it is just plain salt with baking soda, equal amounts. Do not use iodized salt or your teeth turn yellow. But this is a natural toothpaste, equal amounts of just plain regular salt and baking soda. And I use that. Yes, I do, Carter. I do remember you. And so there's a lot of things that I do to go back. I go backwards because they're putting so many things in the food that we use. I want to make sure that I get the food that I want and that it's nutritious. And that's the biggest thing that I always work on. Always work on. So that's what I do. And I sit and think, even while I'm vacuuming or doing the yard or something, I'm sitting there doing the washing and said, I got this in there. Like we had a 5 and dime store. I don't even know if they have 5 and dimes anymore in the town where I grew up. And they always made an egg salad, but it wasn't the egg salad that I got at home all the time. And by accident, my girlfriend and I were playing around in the kitchen and we found out what it was. She said, Sandy, I have pickled relish here. And I said, okay. She said, what do you think it'd go like in eggs? I said, I don't know. Let's try it. Ting! That's how 5 and dime made it. They drain the sweet pickle relish. They drain it, get the fluid out, and they put it into the eggs with mayonnaise. And that's how 5 and dime made their egg salad. It's delicious. But that's why I do what I do. I do all of this to make sure that people can be healthy. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to wake up and have to take pills in the morning. Oh, we were just working on making an all butter crust in a way that I have never made before. So this is very, very new for me. But that's what I teach here, is to show you that you can do a lot of things. Just like somebody said that the poor folk can't eat healthy and do the things that we do. Number one, if I put wine in a dish, I get a cheap wine. All right, because that's my cooking wine, cheap wine. I'll use that in place of it instead of doing the really big ones. No, I'm sneezing. I don't know what brought this on, but lately I've been sneezing and with a runny nose. I guess the weather changed too fast for me. And that's it. Hi, Grace. So what happened? What was I talking about? Oh, great. I lost a train of thought. All right. Hi, Faith. You guys caused me to forget my chain of thought. Oh, yes. They said they couldn't cook like this. So I say use an inexpensive wine. Cheap wine. Yeah, that's what I used to cook with. And another thing is they said, well, I don't have a pressure cooker. Well, when you peel your vegetables, instead of throwing them into the trash, collect your peelings, stick them in a bag and stick them in the freezer. When the bag is full, get a pot, boil them for 2 hours, strain them, put it, and when it cools, put it in a jar, put it in the refrigerator and cook with it. It'd be the same thing as me using stocks here, you know? And for the people who make cheese and they don't know about what to do with the whey, that's what you have left over when you make cheese. I put that in a jar. Well, I can because I make a lot. But it goes in the refrigerator and I use it. If I'm cooking rice, pasta, gravies, any place where I need liquid, I use my stocks and I use that. Yeah, well, the thing is that there's a lot. Think about this. Your skin is your cover. If you peel the skin, your whole body is exposed. All right, so it's the biggest organ you have is the skin, is to protect you. Our skin needs a lot of nutrients. Now let's think of a potato. Potato grows under the ground. It needs to be protected. It too has a casing around it and its own. It has its skin. The same thing with the vegetables on the outside. If they didn't have that skin to protect them, there'd be a problem. You see? So I use the skins. There are a lot of minerals, and nutrients, and acids in there that your body needs. Just like if you take vitamins and you take a B6 tablet, the B6 tablet is missing all the little vitamins and nutrients that are around it. They don't even know what it does. When you get it from the food, you get all those other nutrients around. So what I try to do is to cover. When we have roast or short ribs or a T-bone, once in a great while, mostly chicken, I take the bones from the plates. I said, don't throw them in the trash. I want those bones. I put those in a bag and I put them in the freezer. And when I get a bag full, I sit and I cook them. I pressure cook mine. My son bought me a pressure cooker for my birthday. I was so happy when he did it. And I sat there and I pressure cook those bones 2 hours. I fill the pot up with water and I dump the bones in there, seal it, pressure cook it 2 hours. Check it after 2 hours because it might run out of water. I add more water into it, pressure cook it again for 2 hours. I do this for about 6 hours. Every 2 hours, I'm checking to make sure the water's there and I fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. When I can take a knife and stab that bone, or you take a leg bone and you can grab it and break it, you've cooked all the minerals out of it that your body needs. I strain that and I put that in a jar into the refrigerator. The extra jars get canned and I have those. That's my bone broth. So you don't have to be wealthy to do these, get your vegetable peelings or to collect your bones and do that. There is no excuse. The only thing is it takes time. It takes time and you have to be there for it. It's not hard, but by using that in place of water, where they tell you to add water here, or it says cook the rice, my rice, I'll pour it in. The whey down at the bottom, you see some white stuff. Those are extra proteins. I shake it up and throw it into my rice. If I cook bulgur, same thing. But what it does is it gives more flavor to whatever you're making. Instead of adding the water, you use that. But thank you. So those are just 2 things that you can do, and your nutritional value goes way up. And if you do this every day, it's fine. Now, if you have small children and they have hot cereal in the morning, I'm real quick. Thank you, Ash. So then what happens is that you can put some powdered milk into the water that you're going to cook the cereal in, add a tablespoon of wheat germ or so, and stir it around, and you cook it just like that. Then you give your child a glass of milk, and you put your butter and sugar and milk into the cereal and stir it around. But by adding that extra powdered milk and wheat germ, you have increased the value of the food that they're getting, as well as the nutritional value as well. So all of these things actually move you to be better in health, because when you get old, and I'm old, I'm 72, and I'm still moving, and I don't have arthritis. I'm not on medication or anything, and I don't wake up with aches and pains and have to lay there and say, oh my God, I got another day. No, I get up, greet my cats, because they take the pillows. I mean, they leave me nothing. I have to fight for the sheets and all, and the blankets, and I get up and I start my day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm moving around. So it's very easy. And if you take a look at my face, I am 72. And like a lot of people say, where are her wrinkles? That's health, because I keep on replenishing everything that I use every day. But remember, it takes 7 years to replace every cell in your body. So if you miss a day, the certain cells that are being replaced that day are going to be weaker than the cells before. This is why it's very important that you keep it up. No, my father was like that. My father was like that. My father got up at 4. He wanted us, he had mom up by 4:30. We had to be up by 5. I had to be out of the house by 7 o'clock to be at school at 7:30. My school started at 7:30 and did not end until 3:30. So we had long days of school. So when my husband brought me up here, because I was from Texas, grew up down there, he is an artist. Well, artists paint at night and go to bed early in the morning and sleep during the day, and this was not working for me. Okay, if you say so. Okay. And what happened is I had to rearrange my schedule, which was very hard. But I still found, even if I went to bed early in the morning, I could only sleep so many hours. So my husband would get up and go to work. When he came in, that's when he did his painting. I would sleep in the afternoon because I was so accustomed to getting up. But this is actually because this is how I was raised. Hi, Jolie. Thank you, Lane. Lane? Daniel? So that's why I get up early. I'm a 4 a.m. get up in the morning routine. And my girlfriend says, Sandy, I want you to go to this party with me at night. I said, what time is it? She says 8 o'clock at night it starts. I said, I'm sorry, I'm already sleeping. I am not up. I can't. Yeah, I took naps. I take naps today when I'm tired. I'll fall asleep at the table. I'll fall asleep in a chair reading a book. I'm exhausted. So that's how I was raised. And like I was told for many years, the early, the early bird gets the worm. So we knew that we had to get up early, we get our work done, and we then had the afternoon to play, and we could do all of those things and get things done. But that's how we did it. That time? Okay. So I guess I'll live my life till the end, being an early bird. That sounds like a cute idea. Craig, that was uncalled for, but I will say hi. So anyway, that's the way it is. But that's pretty much it for now. I don't want to get wet thing out. So listen, yes. So listen, I'm going to let all of you go. I spent 38 minutes. This is going to be short because I still have to get meals prepared for next week. I couldn't even tell you what we're getting ready to have because I haven't even put have not done my list yet. So listen, take care for those of you in the evening, and for those of you in the morning, good morning. And I will see. I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow. If I'm busy putting the meals together, if I have time, I will. But definitely, I will see you next week. So I want all of you to take care of yourselves. Oh, you're welcome. So listen, take care. For me, it's going to be have a good evening. But for the rest of you, just have a wonderful time where you're at. And be safe always. And be very respectful to everybody. Bye-bye.